Okay. All right. Can I ask everybody to come up to the large group now? Please. I know, some people, yeah, we're not having lunch yet. We still have one more task to do. I know, all right, come on back to the large group so we can read these statements. You can see your product. Would one of you like to volunteer to read the con? Would one of you volunteer to read the con statement? Okay, Shirley will do it. Okay, hold on before we start, but yeah. All right, come on back. Okay, can I ask on the pro statement to read it out loud? Stanley? Okay, everybody, let's look at the product.
We find these to be the strongest reasons to vote for the measure. Finding. Prop 10 allows local communities to address predatory housing practices such as price gouging and unreasonable rent increases by allowing the creation of stronger local rent control policies. The restrictions or guidelines created by rental control agencies, higher rents will become more prevalent, leading to an increase in homelessness and unsafe living conditions. Do you want me to continue all of them? Okay. Finding, according to the principle of planning for Proposition 10, rents by limiting keeping their homes and communities. This is important because rent control would promote stability and prevent displacement, allowing communities to grow and flourish. Finding, by limiting rent increases, tenants will have a greater share of disposable income available, which could contribute to the growth of a more vibrant local economy. This is important because a majority of California renters pay more than 30% of their income in rent. Increases enables citizens to meet basic needs and any of life.
It's there. They can't see the very right margin, and also we need to scroll up to get to the summary. There we go.
The affordable housing supply in California is not sufficient to meet the demands of our growing state. This drives up rental prices, putting renters of all income levels at risk for displacement and/or eviction, which is a main cause of homelessness. Local governments would be allowed to set rent control of their communities.
So, what do you think? For those of you that didn't work on this half of the statement, or this third of the statement, should I say? Yeah.
Well, I'm looking
Paul.
at it, and I just see there where it says a main.
Oh, we need mics for this portion of the session. Thank you.
So on the part where it says, which is a main cause, or so is it a main cause or the main cause, or is it a major cause? A main cause. Okay.
Okay. Clarifying that. That's great. What do you like? Pat?
Yeah, I'm just thinking of it just a second here, but it is talking about all income levels and then talking about a major cause of homelessness. Well, if you're in an upper income level, is that true? Homeless?
So,
Okay.
okay, so the displacement and/or eviction cover renters of all income levels. That was the intention. Do you have a friendly amendment, or are you?
I'm okay. I just don't think that if we're going to put the
Oh, can I ask you to use your microphone?
I don't think if we're talking about the broad spectrum of income levels that we should have that linked to being a cause of homelessness.
I think price increases as well as or as opposed to price gouging, which is upon entry, right? Which is the least if they have an incredibly high rent, that would be price gouging. So someone who is paying $3,000 a month in rent for an apartment could have their rent driven up to $6,000 the next month if it's not a property that's been built before 1905, or, right, under rent control.
Are you making a suggested edit? Or I'm not tracking where you're looking at that. I'm sorry.
I'm kind of pointing out to Pat that people of all income levels could be affected if their rent can change from month to month.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree that that's correct. It's linking it to homelessness that I was thinking might be a little bit of a stretch.
Well, if you want to come up with a friendly amendment to that, you're welcome to do so. Rose, here you go. Yeah, thank you.
I kind of feel like that has been summed up in the main cause of homelessness. It's not saying that's the only cause.
So are you suggesting it's fine as is, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so it's out there on the table. If you want to make a friendly amendment while we're talking, you're welcome to. Laura.
We could change that sentence to shorten it, but I wouldn't take out all income levels. We debated when we were actually looking at it at the table. And I think that it's important to note that all income levels can be, because you could be someone who makes, 6 figures, but if you're living in San Francisco, how far is your 6 figures going to go? So it could be all incomes. You don't have to necessarily be, low income or anything, but if you're a renter, you're vulnerable. And that's the point that we're trying to get across. But I think that I get where you're going, Ms. Pat, on the displacement part. We could change that to say all income levels at risk for displacement and or eviction. And then we could just say period. And then if we wanted to do a second sentence to make sure that we were capturing the homelessness piece, we could say eviction is a main cause of homelessness. So like a separate sentence. Right.
So separating those into 2 sentences is
Right.
the
Right.
suggestion. Does that work for you?
Yes.
Does that work for others to just separate that out so it's a separate sentence? Michael says no.
We're already over by 7 words.
Okay.
I would, okay, we can look at it as an A, but I would second Laura's suggestion because if we strike of all income levels, renters is inclusive of all income levels in the word itself. And I think it's more clear and it eliminates the undeniable cognitive dissonance of talking about all income levels and homelessness.
I would
In my
agree
opinion.
that if we separate these into 2 separate sentences, the sentence and then starting a new sentence to
We're starting to get into multiple proposals here. So I'm going to reflect back what I think the current proposal is, which is trying to do both of the things that you were just saying. And I'm going to ask, I don't know if we can just add it somewhere. Yeah. Okay, so then you'll read it and then you'll determine we're good with that or not. So it says, this drives up rental prices, putting renters at risk for displacement and or eviction. Period. Eviction is a main cause of homelessness. So let's not so much worry about word count at this precise moment, but is that capturing the change that really was originated from Pat, which is that too close of a link between homelessness and all income levels? Does that do it?
I don't think so. If you remove all income levels, then you can leave the sentence as it is, because I think once you make that a main eviction is a main cause of homelessness, I think you kind of lose what it's supporting, and it's in and of itself not supported elsewhere.
Okay, Stanley?
This may be way off base, but I thought of leaving the income levels, but excuse me if this makes quite a bit of a change. Put it to all income levels at risk for displacement, eviction, and homelessness. Not saying it's a causal from one to the other, but all three of them could be distinct results.
So displacement, eviction, and homelessness. And or homelessness.
Yeah, yeah.
So then I'm seeing some nods. So can I read that back and let's see if we can get up there? This drives up rental prices, putting renters of all income levels at risk for displacement, comma, eviction, comma, and or homelessness. And the point is to remove the cause. So are you guys, can I get I don't know, are you good with this? Anybody have real serious concerns with this change?
Can you read it
Raise
out loud?
you can go ahead and use the paddles. You've been burning to use them all morning, I can tell.
Can you read it one last time and then we can
let's
vote
read
on
it
it?
one more time. This drives up rental prices, putting renters of all income levels at risk for displacement, eviction, and or homelessness.
I'm sorry. I mean the whole part.
Okay. The whole thing. Okay. The affordable housing supply in California is not sufficient to meet the demands of our growing state. This drives up rental prices, putting renters of all income levels at risk for displacement, eviction, and or homelessness. Local governments would be allowed to set rent control policies that meet the needs of their communities. Okay. Okay. All right. Nice work. Let's move on to the con statement. So we had a volunteer. Let's hand Shirley the mic. Shirley. And you can read the whole thing.
Property owners. Safe, affordable living options may be reduced if property owners forego maintenance and repairs to cut operating costs. This is important because the lack of safe housing is a serious concern for communities and could cause neighborhood decline, which could reduce property values. Finding. Prop 10 allows local government to dictate pricing to landlords of single-family homes, controlling how much they charge for renting their home or a room in their home. This is important because current regulation protects landlords of single-family homes, but the passing of Prop 10 places them at risk of losing their critical right to set their own prices. Finding. Prop 10 does not solve the housing crisis in California by simply removing the restrictions of the Costa-Hawkins Act. This is important because repealing the Costa-Hawkins Act would not address the problems of supply and demand for affordable housing. Repealing the Costa-Hawkins Act may create more government agencies, adding administrative costs that could get new construction, which lowers the supply of rental units, increasing rents.
I'll do the one that I first, maybe the last sentence in the summary, study is finished. Should we change it to showed and lowered? Just add ED to show and lower. And my other one was the first.
Okay, so just a moment.
I was just asking if we could do one at a time
Yes.
before I move up to that second one.
Is that okay?
showed and lowered. Nick?
We specify that that Stanford University study was only for San Francisco. Okay.
There was a
Okay.
big conversation about this. Somebody explain what you talked about.
So we had a conversation about this in our group, and we went back and forth on it. We determined that placing San Francisco specifically in there could potentially turn off voters to reading the rest of what we have to say, because they might think, if I don't live in San Francisco, it doesn't apply to me. So instead of putting specifically the city, we decided that we would put the study and reference the study. That way, if they wanted to go and look at the study, they could read the study themselves.
My second comment was about the first claim, so we could scroll up. Let's see. This is important because lack of safe housing is a serious concern for communities. Are we implying that all communities are concerned about safe housing? They should be, but are they? I mean, can we make that claim?
How about
So
can
do you have
be?
an amendment? Or do you? Mike? Do you have a proposal?
Okay, I don't really have one, but
Somebody want to make a proposal if you want to improve this statement?
I'm okay with it the way it is, but if it would make, if we create unanimity, we could say many communities to distinguish it from all or an undefined number.
I like that.
Okay, any problems with adding many?
No.
Okay, so we'll just add that in for many
And I would go
communities.
up, my comment was on the first part of the finding, we got the word reduce in there. So I would say living options may be affected. Change reduced to affected.
Living options may be affected.
If property owners forego maintenance.
Oh, that's the finding. Oops,
we
can't change that.
How did we get, how did we get reduced in there?
It's,
Edit it right.
yeah, that's a go for editing. So if I could just ask everyone to put your cards down, because it looks like many of you are in the queue, but I don't really think you are. So Laura is, and you have the mic, so why don't you go and then Laura.
So on the second one, yes, the second one, this is important. I was actually in this group, and it's been bothering me, the word prices at the very end, and I was like, I couldn't think of what to change it to, but it just doesn't sound right. So I wanted to recommend, because now a word came to my head, that we change it to rates.
Rates instead of prices?
Mm-hmm.
Rental rates?
Rental rates is fine.
Rental rates?
Yes, rates.
Just rates or rental rates?
I think rates is sufficient enough, but I'm fine with rental rates. Well, it's plural now up there, so
It's plural
I would
because
say
you said
plural.
them. Their rates. Okay,
Rates.
Laura?
All the way back down to the bottom
Rates.
again.
Rates, yeah. And then now to the summary.
Yeah, we made some changes, and so then it affects the following sentence at the bottom.
Oh,
A 2017 Stanford University study of rent control showed a slowing of new construction, which lowered the supply of rental units, and then we say potentially increasing rents. That no longer matches.
proposal? Can you make a friendly amendment?
I need to stare at it for a second.
Okay. Anybody
Let's
want
all
to help?
stare together.
Does anybody want to help with that? Or we could send it to typo committee. I think we could send this one to typo committee. Is that okay? So it's, you're saying, yeah, let's send that, let's kick that one out to typo. Well, she's saying it's, past tense, current tense. So you got to match those up.
Not even current necessarily, future tense.
Or
We
future
went
tense. You
past
need
to
keep
future.
it consistent with the change. So we'll ask typo committee to take that on. All right. Any more burning changes? Michelle.
What I'm going to say, and maybe you can help me, Laura, when I'm going to say the Constitution said, I don't have to say past tense because it's a document that was written, in the past. So I don't know necessarily that the change of tense was necessary.
On the summary?
Yes.
Yeah, because the study still exists and you can still read it and it still shows that.
Okay, so we're going to kick that to typo committee. But thank you for the suggestion, or the typo committee thanks you for the suggestion. Okay, thanks. Anything more before we go to lunch? So I will just, Who is the typo committee? Yeah, so we need to self-identify if you'd like to, or you're willing to work on typos as a typo committee. I've got Pat. Raise your hand. Laura's a yes. Anyone else? Typo committee is also working on the key findings. Yes. So they'll try to improve those for readability, grammar, and all that before we come back from lunch. So if you'd like to.
I don't know how many people, I'll do it.
It doesn't, two or more is fine. If only two of you, I think that's fine. But if more of you can and want to join, you're welcome to. What I'll ask is that group, that we reserve one of the tables for them. So where kind of group 4 has been traditionally sitting in the back corner there, we'll ask you to grab your lunch and sit there, and one of the moderators will come and assist you with your task. So we have lunch from 12:20 till 1. Till 1:30. Yeah.
One is I need those, collect those cards back.
We do need to collect the cards
And
back.
The other one is, so did we hear it's only Pat, Laura, and Michael? You might want to be on Laura.
Myra was really good at this yesterday.
Pat, Laura, possibly Michael C.
No pressure.
And Myra.
We get a hot lunch. You didn't say that. You're doing.
Oh. All right.
Oh, then I want to be there.
So we'll come back. Can I have cards if you have cards? All right. So we'll be back from lunch at 1:30. Nice work, everybody.
Do we have, is the hotel checking out by 12? I have everything out.
Oh, no, that's for me to take. I'm taking with me after today. I was just trying to chill it as long as possible. But I assume Jim's probably checking out now. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, here's. It helps sometimes.
I never thought about doing it in round.
That's it.
Thank you.
Got them all back. It's great. These things are such a pain to make.
Yeah.
One second.
Yep.
So the evaluation is 6.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it is.
So I just want to make sure we got enough time for everybody to go to the
We'll do our absolute best.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely best.
Thank
The airport times are really tight.
Yeah.
But we're on schedule.
Okay,
And
cool.
I see no reason right now why we'd be off schedule. So I think
Okay,
we'll be okay.
cool.
But yeah, I know they're going to take, some people will take 30 minutes to do them probably, given
Yeah.
what happened in Massachusetts. And yeah. So,
Okay, cool.
Yeah, thanks. This evaluation is just like insanely long. I don't know what they were thinking. Well, actually, I know they were thinking John Gasser was like, just put 3 open calls to any researcher that wanted to add a question to it. What? Can't do that. Evaluation. No, it's good. It's good. All right, there it is. There's the first. Yes, absolutely. In fact, it's in the folder now. It's in that content manager folder. Oh, thanks. Yeah. I meant to get it to her before. Yeah, I know, because I was like, within the hour, and told you to write that. Like, bad idea. Sorry. Stupid. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. For this alone staff for going to the airport so fast. The 2 of us wouldn't start talking about like while it's still going on, which is insane. But there is, yeah, basically what we're doing over lunch. We're doing over lunch, so it'll be the smaller suitcase. They're very like inquisitive advocates, and much more friendly than advocates normally are. Like actually interested in the process, which is not just like jam my view down people's throats. That one, if we can trace it back a bit. 17 would have been a claim idea very end of day 2. I have no idea. And the original claim idea was Prop 10 does not fix the housing crisis in California completely. That. I don't know how much she wants to know, but. All right. No, I'll do it. Thanks for reminding me. I already shook it once, so let's just go ahead and do one of those guys. When you're done, yeah, no rush, no rush. Oh, that was super fast. Oh my gosh. Thanks. I'll do fast. I think I should do it. No, no. Okay, that was it. That was it. You can have one lunch. That's great. Thanks so much for your help. Appreciate it. I didn't know that.